materials, the resources, and everything to depend on other people rather than projecting ourselves.
Okay,
You understand?
I understand perfectly.
Yes.
Okay, so guys, I know that most of you were trying to join the Skype, but how do you call it? I think we had a bit of technical hitches, but we're back again. Thankfully, we're going to get you the lines, then we can start calling, because I know that this is one of the issues that seems to be bothering us, especially the petrol prices. Let me take the screenshot and send it to Mr. Tefe, who has requested for the phone lines. 1 minute. Let me just where is it? Okay. Right. Yeah, Mr. Dupont, I was talking about the problem with Adjon Safo's case. If for some reason she had left, not unceremoniously, but at least with the excuse that her daughter was not feeling well. You know, could we not have pardoned him, have pardoned her of that? Is it the number of time she stayed out of Parliament? Is it the period she stayed out of Parliament? I'm sure that's what led to her dismissal.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You see, the president has had patience with her all this time, believing that she's got family issues to sort. Okay. She couldn't come back after 6 months or whatever to let the parliament or government know what exactly
the problem
is.
Yeah.
But it looks like there's been so much rumors going around, which she herself has not helped. Okay. So if the president was acting from her side of view, then I think the president has been too kind, fatherly, and giving her more time. In the sense that she has annoyed the public.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it the number of time? Is it the period of time she stayed out? Is that what the problem is?
Yes. Nobody knows when somebody's illness is going to be cured. Okay. But so you can give a leeway of some months or practically as it is now, a year. Okay. After that, either you have to resign because you've got a job to do and you've got a constituency also to manage.
Right.
So if you are not there, there are things the constituency will miss out. And so nobody prays for another person to get into illness and all sort of unnatural things that you don't expect to happen. But it is up to you, the individual, to assess what is going on around you, to know that I've gone beyond what society can accept. You see, at that time, is when a reasonable person will say, okay, I know parliament, government, the president, anybody involved with the society, the community, have listened to me, and it's come to a point that I also have to do the decent thing. The decent thing being that thanking the people who voted for you and your colleagues in parliament and the country as a whole, and you bow out.
Okay, I'm going to open the phone lines in about 3 minutes. That's 11:30. And then we can contribute to the topics that we've shared right from last night till now. Now we have touched 3 particular topics. I think the first one was the Kufuor sacks, Adjua. Second is the fuel prices, and then thirdly is about the Russia and the UK's war. That is not much of our concern, to be honest. We don't wish they go through what they're going through, but you can call us on the. As usual, you can call the studio lines on 0208 638 6239 or 075 3399 0890. You can also get us on the mobile line on 073 7540 2446. And then also on I think there's a line calling already. If it's not my line, let me have a look. I think there's anyway, Mr. Dupont, I think people think the line. Okay. Yeah, may I know who's on the line? Good morning.
Good morning.
May I know who is on the line, please? Oh, Tegwe. Please hold the line 1 minute. I'm coming. Let me just. Okay, so you're live on air. Good morning.
Good morning, Doctor. Good morning to all your listeners.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Tegwe.
You can go. You can shoot, sir. You're live on air.
It's Tegbe speaking. It's good to reconnect again after a fortnight.
But where do you normally go and then you come latter part of events and then because you would prompt Mr. Kofi Ali to tell us that we have normal people. We don't want that. You have to make sure you stay tuned and on time. So that
we go on the ground and gather the intel.
Right. That's fair enough excuse. That's cool. Yeah. Anyway, you can shoot, sir. The petroleum prices, the petroleum prices swallowing us under the carpet, and Adjua Safo finally she's back in Parliament, and then she's still not accepted, and then finally she's her seat is actually revoked.
Are
you? What's that? You are you happy? I can see you smiling. But are you happy?
I'm smiling, but it's not a smile just out of joy. I mean, it's more of amusement. I had the earlier submission that gave Zacchaeus the credit for being fatherly as in giving her leeway to look after her sick child. I am sorry to say that this is not a private entity. It is not his home affairs that he can do things like that with. As a president who's on salary by taxpayers, he has a duty. He is bound to adhere to the constitution of the country. So it is not for him to extend his personal kindness or whatever he deems fit to his cronies to show what kind of kind person he is. His first mandate is a duty owed to the mandate him to do right and make sure that all institutions of the state are fully functional. That goes beyond what he deems to be his friends, what deems to be his loyal supporters being pleased. Adjo Safo is my MP in my my constituency, for starters. But one person in the constituency, which one is more important? It is the president's duty to ensure that we are not wasting money. The public purse that he boldly took a center stage and hoodwinked everybody that he was prepared to, protect, that he's not doing. Those decisions that you make that cost the state money, that is what needs to be looked at. So no, it is not something that he's done that he needs to be commended for. He has slagged, and everything that has gone on in that time should be scrutinized at the appropriate time, and further questions be put, and people being held accountable for whatever. What has taken so long? Stories that are unsubstantiated, that are moving around, we cannot go into that. But did we need to go through this? Would everybody that goes to parliament or any state institution that has a family issue, personal present circumstances that do not enable them to carry out their duty, be allowed the same leeway? If not, then we have a bigger problem. That is what we look at. It is not about how kind you are as a person.
Did you see this
if
coming?
You take me on your radio station to do a job for you, and I cannot turn up at 6 a.m. for a show that's at 6 a.m., it happens twice, 3 times, your ratings will go down, and you'll be looking at something else. It does not matter whether we play poker together or not.
Wait, did you see this coming?
This is something that's long overdue. This, for me, is just the arrogance of this current president that has kept this long. All the backdoor shenanigans that has been going on. Things like renting a plane for someone to come and vote for this brilliant e-levy that everybody spoke against. Let's pause for a minute and speak about the e-levy. This regressive and oppressive levy that was labeled as a tax. All this just to protect the subterfuge that has been indulged in by the finance minister, cooking our books and trying to delay going to IMF. Where are we now? Was all the drama that we went through worth it? Personal glory seems to go in front of every decision. Look at the toll booths. Toll that was being paid. How does Ghana is? I don't recall hearing anyone or a group of people standing up and ever complain about paying tolls for using a road. Those things are sense. Common sense lets you know that when you go on a road and you pay toll for it, if the toll is going to be used for the right thing, you will be fine. Now, for the period that we stopped paying the toll, how much was lost?
That's
the brilliance and the hate that was applied in initiating that. What has that achieved? Where are we today? People that spoke against it, some of us were labeled and called all sorts of names. Who has the wisdom now? Is it something that's going to just be brushed under the carpet with noise, or is somebody going to be held accountable? I always believe people in office need to be held accountable. That's why I don't jump on this constitutional change issue, because I think our main problem is the implementation. We do not implement some of these things. This is what happens when you indulge in nepotism and cronyism, appointing all your family people, your cousins, your best friends, your brothers and uncles, and you are unable to hold them to book because they might have other things on you that also make you crumble. And the country now is being run like a puppet show.
You reckon?
Sheer incompetence. All the noise that was made, all the money that has been borrowed under this administration, there is nothing to show for it. Where are the drones that were bought, the innovative drones? The solid economic management team that was touted that the names will be remembered for years to come. Yes, those names will forever be remembered. Will be remembered with shame. Will be remembered as lessons that Ghanaians need to know. That just listening to rhetoric and going ahead speedily to support something without doing your due diligence, the price to pay is on your own head. When somebody brings you a bag of rice and you go and vote for them without vetting the person, your suffering that ensues after is on you. It is not on anyone else, because that rice bag will probably finish in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And you then will be paying this price that everybody is paying now. Why are we where we are with fuel?
Thank
for
you.
the management.
Tell us.
There has been cases that has been released with government involved in the smuggling of fuel. This is unprecedented. Where are we as a nation? Ghanaians are just not angry enough. Not angry.
Hold on, take 1 minute. Joe, are you there, Joe?
But we do not.
Hello, Joe. Are you there?
Stand up when the time is right.
I don't think Joe can hear me.
We wait and we do the family nyame, and time will tell, and nothing is happening.
So there's no point giving it to nyame anymore.
There is a time for everything. You can pray, but the same nyame also gives us that wisdom to act. When you wake up, nyame has the capability of making you clean without having a shower. But we do wake up and go and fetch water and bath. Why is that?
Was
that nyame provided you with a sense.
Hold the line, Mr. Odupon. Want to ask you a question,
Mr. Tekwe.
Can Mr. Odupon wait until I finish speaking, and then you can.
No, maybe he doesn't want to forget the question. So
no, it's all right. Let him go.
Okay, he said go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, let him go ahead.
Okay, he said you could go ahead. He said you want to go, Mr. Odupon.
Yes, well, he's talking about.
Nah, it's become a regular. It's become a regular thing. But let's run with it, Mr. Odupon. Fire ahead with your question.
Yes, I said.
Hello, Mr. Odupon. Joe, can you hear me? Joe, can you hear me? He just picked a call. I don't know what the problem. Okay, go on. Mr. Odupon, go on.
Yes, we all know that the president has got a duty to look after, to hire and fire.
Okay.
But at the same time, as a leader, you have to weigh the issues.
Is it in reaction to what Mr. Tebe is saying? Is it a question, or otherwise? Then obviously you have to wait, because unless you want to say something in reaction to
what he's
that's
saying.
Fine.
Yeah.
Are you there, Mr. Tebe?
Yeah, I'm here.
And you can hear Mr. Dupont live and clear, please.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes. So, as a leader, he has to weigh in what the issue is.
Okay.
And as I said before, he cannot just come out and say A or B unless he's got the full facts before he can take a decision. And this is what he has done. I'm not saying that the length of time is taken for him to now do his duty as a president, sacking somebody. Okay, you can't just sack somebody just like that without
the necessary process.
Exactly.
So you think it is right for all these time till now? Is it the due time you thought it's the best time to then making us understand that is there a time she let go of the seat? Is that you succumb with the president? You agree with him?
What is the best time? The best time is the principles or the procedures that has been laid down. Okay. If he was to act quickly, some people jump up and say, "Oh, he's a dictator." Okay. Or he's this.
I think we need to work on this thing where I get interrupted.
No, Mr. Tigwe, I think I asked you.
Just for submission to be made.
No. I asked you, and then you allowed it in. I was not going to allow him to talk.
His question that he's, attempting to ask is more like attempting to correct what I'm saying. I reserve the right to present what I have to say.
Definitely.
Without anyone else on the panel thinking that they have a better insight to how I should say it. I am saying
when
he disagrees, when it's his time.
Yes, I think when he rather disagree than trying to tell you what it is.
But whether he disagrees or not, he has his air time, which allows him to present what he needs to present. It's not for him to be, looking into what I'm saying what exactly I want to be saying. Unless,
Okay.
of course, what I'm presenting he thinks is false, then he can pull me up on that.
No, I think he disagree with the fact that you think
that is
this is long overdue.
I am of the view that people that are unable to call the truth as it is are either indulging in hypocrisy and are not able to say it as it is.
Okay,
I think the president's first duty is to the state. I can choose to take you to dinner when I get paid my salary, but I cannot use company expense to cover your dinner because you're my friend when you're not doing the job. And that dinner has nothing to do with the company. Let's separate all those things with our emotions and whatever.
Okay,
I personally know this MP in question, and I am saying, duty-wise, all this could have been done.
Okay.
15 working days was all that it needed for this disciplinary hearing to have taken place. We all know how long this thing has gone on for.
Okay.
We're talking of wastage. We are in dire crisis. We have a president who is the head, who will take glory when things go well. When things go wrong, this president is on record saying to Professor Mills not to complain if he says the system is broken. Now that he has a mandate, fix it. Enough of the rhetoric. Fix the problems. The problems, unfortunately, in these instances, have been created by your own short-sightedness. If you are inept and you are in office and you misbehave and you live loosely, no one has wasted so much of Ghana. I stand to be corrected by any panelist or anyone that's prepared to call in to show any proof or suggest that we have had money wasted by any set of presidency in our history from 1957 till our current time. So let's call a spade a spade. Our difficulty that we attribute to Russia and Ukraine war, how much of our trade campaign in February was with Russia and Ukraine? Yes, they have trickle-down effect. The robust economy that even after the May, our finance minister was boasting about. Our homegrown solutions, our solid economic management team. What do they do at the meetings? Drive from Accra, go to Kediase, to waste more fuel? Living within your means is one basic foundation of wisdom before anything else. You do not want to look for a £2,000 house to rent when your salary is £500. How do you propose to make up the shortfall? There are many people that are now desperate to protect whatever crime has gone on now at all costs, because the writing is on the wall and someone is judging from new candidates and someone is excited for the new candidates that should be lined up for this one. And I hope and pray that any leader that the current NDC produces and comes in does not take that line of just being forgiving and trying to focus on clearing the mess. As the mess is being cleared, people should be lined up to be accountable. Retrievals should be ongoing. People should not be stealing from the state and just go away scot-free. It is a bad precedent to set. It is very bad for the youth of the country, and we're already in an abyss. The youth will only grow up to do worse things.
Okay, Mr. Tegwe, I think you've spoken more than 10 minutes. Let me give Joe a chance to also come in, because I can see a lot of people on the line.
It's 10 minus the 1 minute and 50 seconds long.
No, I understood the point from you. Okay, no problem. Yeah, okay, hold on. Yeah, good morning, Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Doc, and good morning to everyone.
Good morning, sir. You're live on air.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. My regards to everyone. Doc.
Yes, sir.
We are once again confronted with serious issues concerning our country. And you see, every day we cannot come on this radio station without talking about the insensitivity and the recklessness of this government. You see, I agree with my senior with what he said.
Oh, what Mr. Tegbe said. You agree with him? Okay.
Yes. When people are trying to talk about it wasn't the right time to sack Adjoa Safo and all that kind of, I wonder where they get those arguments from? So when is the right time to sack someone who is not working as the law or the mandate that he has been given asks him or her to do?
Okay, let me come in a little bit here. I think I have a bit of a law background that I like to chip in a little bit. The thing is, whatever the situation is, I believe that there must be the course of what is required from the constitution. Probably, even if they've sent, even when you work in an ordinary firm, they start off, if you don't abide with the constitution, they start off with a verbal warning. It comes with a written warning, and then until perhaps they think they've had enough of you and to lay you off. Now, with the case of Adwa Sappho's, as far as I know, I believe that there must have been negotiations as to a period of time when she was giving to come back. And until perhaps you get to a point when they realize that, she doesn't seem to be interested anymore, because they had to take into consideration her excuse, whether it makes sense and whether, it's something that the parliament has to consider. Well, with the issue of whether it's long overdue, I am not sure what had gone on in parliament. It's just a layman's understanding to think that, for the period of time she's been away, if her daughter is sick, and is not making an unacceptable excuse, then they can analyze that and see that, okay, let's give her another more days, another more months, or we think that regardless of that, otherwise it will be inhumane on the side. Well, that's my personal opinion. And so you can, like Tegba said, whatever you make of this, well, we have no choice than to accept that.
Well, you see, if you are talking with regards to her being an MP and being expelled from that position, then yes, you are right with regards to parliamentary procedure and all that kind of thing. But with regards to her being a minister, there is no procedure that we have to follow for her stacking or for her remaining in position.
Okay.
It was the president who gave her the job. Up to the president to sack her at any time without giving any explanation. That is in the Constitution. The Constitution allows the president to hire and fire without explaining to anyone.
Well, even if a member of parliament or any minister.
Listen, we are talking about two positions here. She's an MP.
Okay.
With regards to her being an MP, it has to, if you want to expel her as an MP, it has to go through the parliamentary procedure and all that. They have a procedure for it. But with her being a minister, it lies only in the ambit of the president to fire her. And that is what we are talking about. And even with the parliamentary one, even I have problem with it. It has taken a long time because we are all aware when the speaker brought the names of those who have been absent without any excuse. You see, she went out there without an excuse. And you see, that issue of we need to be, we need to have some kind of favor and we need to...
No. What I was talking about was not about favor. It's about the situation, whether it's that grieving of your child being sick.
You see, I have always said, our country, everything that we do is all biased. Everything is biased. So, doctor, I have an auntie who is a nurse. She has a child who is sick. But she cannot be at home and be doing TikTok. But an MP can be doing TikTok with the excuse that her child is sick. So she can be at home and be taking money. Is that what we mean? Is that what we want to govern our state on?
Well, I don't agree with that anyway.
Yeah, so where lies that attitude of her daughter? If her daughter is sick, she has no business being in parliament. She should leave parliament and go and look after her daughter. There are equally good people there who are ready to serve. Doctor, I come here and say, okay, then if that's the case, then I am also a Ghanaian citizen. I am also enjoying the cold weather here, so I should also be given a position in Ghana and be paid because I'm also enjoying the cold weather. And that part is also maybe my health demands that I should enjoy the cold weather, so I should also be paid.
Okay, let me ask you. let me ask you a very simple question, you. I'm not cutting you. What I want to know is, so what then would have been the reason why for all these years, all this time, she was left to have been messing about, if you want, as you say, she's been on TikTok or something, referring to your own statement. Why has it taken all these while until now? Why what was the problem? Why were they waiting for? What were they waiting for?
And that is why the Afro-Barometer report that came out has indicated that Parliament is the third most corrupt institution in our history or in our country now. And that has no exclusion. It includes both NDC and MPP. And this goes to the NDC. NDC has been playing games with this Adwa Safo issue. But you see, one thing is very important with this Adwa Safo issue. It is not just an issue of political, but an issue of morality. And that is what I've just elaborated. Because if we cannot tell teachers to be staying at home and be doing lottery, or to be playing with their children, or have an excuse of their children being sick and they can be at home for how long? But we can allow them to, because we then come and say, oh, if we allow them to sack and do support, it goes against us. What have you been able to prevent from the parliament? That 200 and something billion that we are all calling him corrupt, blah, blah, blah. What has the NDC been able to prevent, even in the absence of Adwa Safo? So, who is this strategist coming up with this idea that, so if you sack Adwa Safo, it goes like, what have you been able to prevent? E-levy, pass. Whatever, pass. Sawabuni, pass. Everything, pass. What have you been able to prevent? That Adwa Safo's absence is all of a sudden going to be the Holy Ghost coming to save NDC.
You call that biasness? You call that biasness?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Right.
Because look, we are not in parliament to serve the interests of NC or MPP. We are in parliament to serve the integrity of Ghana. So Ghana first before NDC or MPP. So if someone is not coming to parliament, if someone is withdrawing salary from not being in parliament, it is not for NDC to say that, oh, if we sack her, it is going to go against us, so we shouldn't sack her. Now, where lies your morality? Where lies your grounds to demand that the people of South should have a representative, but then the people of Kwabena should not have a representative? Are you okay in your head? You are complaining that the people of South don't have a rep in parliament, but you're okay to support Adwa Safo to continue in her absence, so that the people of Kwabena will not have reps, will not have a rep, and you are only demanding that, oh, we should it again. Oh, that is why the parliament is called, because I'm told there are businesses going on there.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that. I see.
We should not engage in this kind of thing. That is why I'm saying it's an issue of morality. Would we be happy? Would we be happy to set up a company, and then I come with Dr. Yuna, you're working for this radio station, and with the excuse that your daughter or your son or whatever is sick, and for that matter, you should not be coming to work, but then you are withdrawing your salary, and it's not been 1 month, it's not been, whose daughter has been sick for more than 10 years? I mean, Adwa Safo has been there for more than a year and a half.
You think she was taking a pace? You think she was taking a pace?
Everybody knows. Everybody knows. And you heard her slang she was speaking with her. She went there to learn slang. She didn't go there to look at any.
Okay, Joe, let me hold you on. You've also done.
Let me.
Okay.
Let me just
Land, and then I'll come back to you.
Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP. Please. We are not saying the NDC are Holy Ghost. Nobody is saying that. But you see, this is the reason why I've always said, look, it is either you are mischievous, or it is either you don't know what you are talking about when you begin to talk about all politicians are the same and NDC and MPP are the same. Look, John Mahama, yes, he wasn't a saint, but this kind of things will never fly in the face of John Mahama. The man has passion for Ghana. The man, and it is only unfortunate. What has led, if you compare John Mahama and Akufo-Addo, the difference is that with John Mahama, you could clearly see, like the MPs, the NDC MPs in parliament, who are sabotaging everything. With John Mahama, that was the case. But with Akufo-Addo, he himself, we have seen it, the mother serpent of corruption, and now the criminal syndicate. He is the leader of the criminal syndicate. The gangsters in power. He is the head. He is the father of all. The father of all. You understand? So please, Akufo-Addo, please be sensitive a little bit. Have a passion to care about the Ghanaian.
All right, yo. Thank you very much.
The corruption is too much. It is unprecedented that the executive, look, we are missing one, the doctor. That
Yeah.
Today, we know the police have always been first in corruption. We know the police, but even now they are competing with the executive. That the corruption number 2 in our country is from the executive.
All right. You stay on the line.
Just a second.
Okay.
First is the police, second is the executive, third is the legislative, and fourth is the judiciary. Now, who is going to arrest the executive? And who is going to check the executive?
Well, the law works. The law works. It's not as if Ghana is a law. It's that lawless to the extent that anybody can get away with everything, even if it has to do with the. Yeah, but.
Akufo-Addo has appointed an MPP member to the High Court or Supreme Court or whatever. So how can he check corruption in Akufo-Addo's government?
Well, you remember when Kufuor jailed Victor Salome and.
We have gotten to that state that you doc, remove that title as the host and talk. We have gotten to that stage that if you don't.
Well, I know what's going on. There are things I agree and things I don't. In fact, some of the things I don't agree.
You need to agree with everything because what is going on now? There is nothing you have to disagree with.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, yo. Last week, I said that the very fact that we have the new SHS or what compared to the old system where the fifth formers, at least before he goes to sixth form, is already packed with a level of knowledge and maturity until this SSS or whatever came in, where, right within 3 years, people go to university with an empty head. Let me not take the time off Mr. Tek, but I've left him for quite some time. And then,
the free SHS is like a man who has seen a woman and he goes to the room and the things are not right. That's how the free SHS is.
Okay, Mr. Tek, are you there?
I'm right here, Doctor.
Okay, sorry. I think we twisted on different areas a little bit because we're analyzing whether or not, as a neutral person, whether I have to agree with any of the panelists, any of the contributors. So you're live on it. You want to contribute? Continue.
Not a problem at all.
Okay.
Now,
Right. So
I have a question for you. You
okay.
Something about your legal background.
Okay.
I want to ask you what our constitution provides regarding discipline, regarding parliamentarians missing sittings. Can you point me to the section in the Constitution that this references and what is recommended for us to go? Now, I want to say thank you to Joe. You know, Joe and I have disagreed a lot of times.
If I was surprised when he said that he agrees with you.
But this is where the truth trumps all, Doctor. I have always said on this platform that the truth trumps everything. It does not matter where you think you stand. When you see something that is black, it is black. If it is white, it is white.
Okay.
The minute you start dancing around and try to take a superior posture or trying to talk about positioning and how it should be presented, you are a hypocrite. In my books, you are a hypocrite and a coward because you are unable to point a finger at the right thing and you want to dance around it so that you can maintain favor whichever way the ball swings. That neutral concept is not right. You, as a host, we understand your position because you have to maintain that. But other persons that come in, that dance around the truth, that should be looked at.
No, but even that.
Answer my constitution question now before I go ahead.
No, even that. Obviously, is not something that I have them lay in front of me. Obviously, I can know it's a spot on question. But what I'm saying is, even if I'm a host, I believe that certain things are very common and clear. I must be able to agree with some of your views if it solely makes sense to me. Are you agreeing with me? So I don't take the excuse that I cannot say things that are right within my perspective if I find them wrong because I'm a host. Are you getting my point? So some of the things you say, I agree. But as far as I'm concerned, these constitutions are there to shape those who are meant to lead within what's the word, within a leadership position. They're meant to make you steer the affairs of the people who will look up to you as our leaders. Do I make sense? If I'm not giving you the jacket definition of our constitution, but these are what they meant to be. Do you understand?
The constitution that we have is one book that I always have within arm's reach.
Okay.
For reasons like this. Now, without even going into the legalities, any company, small business, big business, for functionality, you need your people to be able to do certain things. There's always you have a department that takes charge when people are off sick, house.
Oh, I think the line. Hello, good morning. Who's this? Hello.
It's not.
Oh yeah.
I will say, for functionality, you need people to be able to be in their positions to make a company work. Companies or businesses do not hire people and hire more than necessary. You will take 12 people if you need 12 people to function. You don't take 18 people hoping that tomorrow doctor will not be able to come to work and you get taken to stand there whilst you're putting everybody on, retainers. No, that is wasteful. This very government was the one shouting on the top of the roof about John Dramani Mahama having an overbloated government. So the least that could have been done was to at least drop what John Mahama had, the alleged incompetent person, by 20%. What did we see? Not even a match, but an increment. Where are the results? Everything that was left at the end of 2016 is dwindling. I need one sector that has made progress significant, that is booming, that we can speak about. Education is in a mess. Energy is full of stories. Now we're doing CACA. And I want to use this opportunity to commend the MPP for packaging what I will call any bad situation and propagating it. They have discovered that majority of the audience do not do any due diligence, and they will forever package whatever bad situation with catchphrases and float it out, and people dance and jump to it. What is CACA? For the first time in the history of mockery of education, we had an energy minister saying that when there's a power cut, it means that there are people from the energy sector or ECG on our power cables doing work. It has become very frequent work. We're yet to see the people, so I am assuming that they are clothed in some cyber gear that makes them blend in with the poles. You don't see them. Why do we make statements like this? It is a direct insult to the intelligence of your audience. You do not need to come and say anything vulgar or call somebody a different kind of animal or swear at them for you to be insulting. A statement like that is disrespectful to the audience that's listening to you. Where in this world do you have people on cables and then power cuts happen? 2 days, 3 days. What exactly do you do on the cable? And why is it a new thing that is just being done now? Let's be mindful, even in the stances that we take. Today, fuel prices in Ghana, the only country, to my knowledge, universally, that is paying a COVID levy on items. And I am fairly troubled. I have went in 4 continents. COVID levy, where every country is doing their possible best to soften the blow on their citizens. Because it is those very citizens that will be working and be able to pay taxes to maintain government functions.
Okay. Now,
this government is consistently exploiting at any avenue, but exploiting not to build up, exploiting to squander. Our president will be around in rented jets. In any serious country of a cerebral issue, our president would have been gone Long time. Long time. So when I say Ghanaians are not angry enough, this is exactly what I mean. We are not angry enough.
What had you expected Ghanaians to do? What do you want? Do you want the strike or the placards, or what our intentions are?
This is the only language that this president understands. This is the only language he seems he understands. When he hears of the word demonstration, he shivers because of his own negativity and the lies he told and propagated, even claiming to be a forerunner for a demonstration that he was not. Capitalizing on a situation which he did. Because all that is happening is attempts to block. Everywhere attempt to block. He has polluted and corrupted to a highest degree every state institution. Let's look at our judiciary, Doctor. Today, if you have an issue in Ghana, are you comfortable investing your money in a lawyer to go to court for disputes? If, for example, that person seems to be connected to the president in any way, would you, with your legal knowledge and your experience and what you witness happening on a daily basis, be prepared to spend even 2 cities to go to court for assumed justice?
Of course, why not?
Have you not been seeing anything that's been going on?
Well, that is what I'm saying. You see, the problem...
It has been consistent.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't agree.
Very consistent.
Now, let me tell you something that has been...
People kissing the behind for favors. We don't really have a judiciary that's functional and trustworthy at this moment. There is a trickle-down effect of that. Is that people tend to advise themselves in situations. Violence increases, crime increases. Why? Because the assumed mediator has taken sides. The assumed mediator will strike out questions. The assumed mediator will make incriminating statements in the dock and brush it off. The court, so designed, was for justice. That justice was not a respecter of person. That justice was a respecter of a legal framework. So all you would have needed to do in a dispute with me would be to prove that you, doctor, has done A, B, C, D, and E at this date, at this time, chronology, as a right, and this is what Mr. Tege has done contradicting this. And this is why we disagree that we have come to justice. Where I have my brother sitting there who does not understand and has no time to even read, I will say, oh, even if you said this, it doesn't really...
Okay, Mr. Tegbe, hold the line. I've got Mr. Kofi Ali. Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Mr. Kofi, sorry, we're trying to get you added up to the line, but there's a bit of technical issues. So you want to stay online? Let me give Mr. Tegbe a minute or two to land, and then you can go on, please. Yes, what I'm saying is let me give Mr. Tegbe a line of 2 or a minute so he can land, and then you can contribute. Unfortunately, we couldn't add you to the line because the line, we're having a bit of technical issues. So stay on the line, let Mr. Tegbe land, and then you come in, please.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Tegbe, can you land, and then let me pick Mr. Kofi Ali, please.
Energy sector, that SPV, that was done, that was demonized by this current president as John Mahama exploiting people. What is the update, current situation of that? You see, as Ghanaians, we tend to forget quickly how things happen. And it's so sad. And I always drum this and I always be shouting the same thing over and over again. Do your due diligence. If you are listening into this program, when you pick a topic and you hear us speak, go back and read on it yourself. If there's anything you're not clear on, tag us again next week. Find out for yourself so that you make informed decisions, so that when the hyenas stand up and they get a microphone and they try and hoodwink you with catchphrases and background music, you're not fooled for 2 seconds and paying the price for 2-3 years later. Petrol under John Mahama was $357, around the same thing when demonstrations was going on. Petrol gallon 14 cedis, $358. Where are we today? there must be some act of hypocrisy going on. Is it that every citizen in Ghana has now given up and we're just waiting for doomsday? The doomsday might drag out. We might be covered in swords. We might be sold off. Where do we want to see the slavery come in? It doesn't have to come in with people taking arms. You'll be mortgaged off. It's happening in other places. A Japan deal, PDS scandal. What is worse? And constantly, the grabbing is going on. You hear things about state land being taken, everybody is arrested. It's just intimidation every day. But the truth or the issue that brings the brouhaha is never addressed. Now we have a police force that issues statements every 3 seconds.
Is it going to be struggling? Why don't we take issue with that issues for our place?
Okay, what it is I've only given a minute to that. Mr. Ufiali, don't worry. Oh dear. Okay, Mr. Tegbe. According to Mr. Tegbe, Mr. Kofi Ali.
Mr. Kofi Ali has called in and you are mediating. Anybody can
No, please listen to me. The problem is, gentlemen, please listen to me. What I'm saying is, according to Mr. Kofi Ali, he has no problem with what you, and he feels you jumping from a different topic. You understand? And so you just land on what we're discussing.
Mr. Kofi Ali is on the air and he will have time to speak. It is not in his place.
Okay, please end for me. And for me.
Thank you, doctor. Please control the program just as you set out to do.
All right.
We do not have anybody come in and behave like
all right.
That
Thank you.
All of us are capable of doing that, and it's not. I mean, it's despicable behavior. Very challenging.
All right.
We shouldn't be tolerating that.
Please bear with me. All right, Mr. Kofi Ali.
I yield my time for now.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kofi Ali. All right. You're live on air.
It's good we are meeting again this week to talk about very important issues.
You see, my worry, Mr. Kofi Ali, my worry has not been just the prices of the petrol. It is the consistency. Now, over this year, we've raised up how many times the petrol price has gone up. You know, the number is what seems to be bothering me.
Yeah, there are so many issues before this petrol issue. And I cannot just jump into the middle of the petrol issue. If you want to talk about petrol, let's make it a topic and let's discuss it. This topic started from where? A lady who is a member of parliament has been removed from, has been dismissed by the president. That is where the problem started from. Is that not true?
Yes, sir.
Joa Safo has been relieved of her position as a minister. Right. But we are not looking properly where the problem started from. Why? Because the Speaker of Parliament who is supposed to have acted earlier on time is an NDC man. That is where the problem started from. Joa Safo, you understand, is holding two positions like Joe tried to explain very well in Ghana. She is a member of Parliament and she then was given a privilege of serving as a minister in Ghana. Can you see? So she's holding two positions. Good. The president has no power to go into parliament to sack people, has he?
Okay. Well, this is that is a very good question. Mr. Tegbe was saying that you know, from the legal perspective, I thought that their proceedings. I remember when Akufo-Addo was accused of some financial misappropriation. Now, he opened his mouth about a few years ago. He claimed that he is positioning certain people who are in charge of that. And so it's none of his business. And so if Joa Safo, you know, and then in Parliament, I equally wonder how the president sacks him, because it has to be the decision in Parliament. And so I don't equally understand.
I don't get the reference you made to probably an earlier incident, which I'm not probably, because you didn't give us the detail of the issue.
Well, this is what the story says. The story says that Akufo-Addo sacks Joa Safo. And I'm saying that there should be somebody in Parliament, as far as I'm concerned, who should mastermind these, you know, if negligence of parliamentary act, then perhaps we can consider that. But from the president has mandated people to do this. And so how does he sack the person then?
The president, remember, the president is we don't elect ministers in Ghana. We elect the president because the president cannot be everywhere and do everything on his own. He delegates the power we have given to him. You understand? To ministers, and ministers are acting in the name of the president. If we are not happy with the work of the minister, yes, we can criticize the minister, but the ball fall on the court of the table of the president. Can you see?
Okay.
Because we have a presidential system of government. Good. But in this case, a lady left the state of Ghana to America for whatever reason. When she was leaving, the rules say,
Mm.
and as a president, I'm sure even with ministers, you need to notify parliament before you go. Can you see?
Okay.
The law was not specific about whether you should wait for the reply before you go. So the vice president, the president, all of them, and the members of parliament must notify. And the business of parliament, you can't be away for more than 4 days without justifying where you went. Can you see? So the parliamentary procedure is very clear. Did this lady put her excuse for going to America for over 4-5 months?
See, this is a good question. Yes, I mean,
Yes, she did. And the parliament did not see that this woman will not be there to represent the constituency for this long. When you are going, even when you are sick, whatever you are going to do for that long, it means you are not fit, you are incapacitated, you can't do your job. Can you see? Therefore, the procedure which we have not been using in Ghana, it will require what you call recall. The constituency have to have what we call a by-election because the member of parliament is incapacitated and the person is not fit. It's like any job you are doing. If your boss doesn't see you, for some reasons, they call you for capability, isn't it? They have a discussion with you to say that you are not performing on your job or you are away. Maybe you are sick, whatever is the case. How can we work around it? If it's something they think they cannot, then they say, sorry, we need to get somebody else to replace you. Ghana, what is that?
okay.
In this case, I think that is where the issue is. How much the job of MPP in parliament is to program move. The
Yeah.
parliamentarians in parliament, the job of NDC is to push the move into it. Now, remember, the reason why all of us were dancing on the street were Biden, as a member of NDC, was made the speaker. He has the power to manipulate the parliament to get the right business of parliament and things like that because the law is on his side. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. They sat down and the woman was in America wasting everything she can waste. Can you see?
Yeah.
And the president now then said that, well, she's a member of my party. Remember, the president is playing 2 roles. He's the head of state and he's also the head of government in our case. Can you see?
Yes.
I don't have any problem with that. But if ministers, like everyone is saying, are responsible to him whether they are parliamentarians or not. So if someone comes to say that it makes sense for him to have started that person, of course, it makes sense. As a minister, not as a member of parliament. If not so, he become a dictator. Can you see?
Okay.
So let us get, but then, whatever the president chooses to do is up to him. In fact, it's a privilege. He can even make a monkey a minister. It's not our business. It's the monkey performing. If we are not happy, the person to change is the president.
Now let me ask you this. Over the period of time when Najwa Safo was given that seat, how do you see her performance?
As a member
As a member
of parliament.
of parliament, have you analyzed her?
There is no member of parliament in Ghana that I think is doing his job, except maybe Haruna Idris.
Was it a holistic? Is it a holistic verdict? Is this something? Hang on, Mr. Kofiala. Is this something you hang on an individual performance from one person to other to have made such a holistic conclusion? Not even one person.
Let me ask you a question. You've got almost 270 people. Their job is to solve the problem of Ghana, not only the executive. Parliament has a very important role to play. Calling people who have been alleged of misappropriation to Parliament, expose them. That is why we have committee, that committee, this committee, that committee. Don't we have them? Don't we have them? Look, the job of Parliament is in 2 forms. One, expose them to the point that they will be able to sit there again. There was a case where Kojo Poma was caught red-handed.
You know, Mr. Ali, when Joe called earlier, his issue was that it's as if the parliamentarians and all our MPs are jokers. I was in an opinion that let me take you back to 1997 when Rawlings had quoted this man. If you remember, what's his name, Mr. Nyama Donko or something at the Ashanti region as the most eminent or efficient minister. In the days till now, we don't seem to have anybody who we can say stands up in our rulings or in our parliamentary or our mandatory position to say this, that is doing very well. Sometimes I feel it's not fair to all of them.
You see, what a member of parliament does actually is up to run the nation to his constituency. A member of parliament is not there to run Ghana. That is the job of the executive. We have an executive arm. Can you see? Now, so the issue we are dealing with here are in two forms. The president now has waken up. Maybe he thought the deputy is doing the job, and the member of his party is in America taking care of. That is up to him. Can you see? And that is up to the president. Our system to say that the deputy he was not doing. One president Mahama was not was not well in his future. It's not how that was running the country.
Mm.
Yeah, that's good. So that is why they have deputies. Can you see? But if we feel, you understand, even the deputy is not good and the president is not doing anything about it, well, it's up to the president. Now the president has decided that now I think I've had enough. I want this woman to go. That is his business. Can you see? I don't think there's any room for credit or no credit to him. Our job is that why has the parliament not, and it has never happened in the history of Ghana for parliamentarians to have a parliamentarian that has totally rubbish and what called the parliamentary rules. Parliament has got its own laws. You understand? The rubbish in Canada, Japan has even gone to toilet on it. There's nothing anyone can do. So let us get that into perspective. They did it during the NDC time.
All right.
They did it during the NPP time. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, one thing people are talking about as if we Ghanaians are hopeless. Of course, we're hopeless. When you see some judge, you look at his office, you look at the kind of life this guy is living. The guy lives like a god. And you ask yourself, he's a member of parliament. He's not even a minister, he's not a president. Where did he get this money from? Is that his parliamentary salary? Or he has other contracts to take from this same government and pretending he hit them?
Well, let me before I go to chairman, very soon I'm going to ask you them simple question. I don't know, sometimes what individuals acquire as an ostentatious display of wealth, I mean, it's become an issue so much. If not, the person is not a footballer or something, then we have to question his assets and where is that coming from. But don't we believe, apart from the jobs they do in servicing the people have their own private businesses they do, don't they? I mean,
and that is where the question comes. Look, you are only one person.
I think it's the magnitude of it. Is that the magnitude of it?
Be patient with me. I'm a Ghanaian, isn't it?
You are, yes.
I'm supposed to be in that studio. I left yesterday at 2 o'clock. Can I come? The answer is no. Can you see? I was doing another business, but the business of the studio is also very important. Is that not true?
It is.
Every man has 24 hours. You can't divide yourself into two. Can you see? So if somebody, then if they have other business they are doing, then the medical doctor at Kolimo Teaching Hospital will also have another job, and yet he's collecting full salary from us as Ghanaians. And then look at it too. The police officer, the senior most police officer can even be running a job bar and also be a police inspector general. Can you see? How does he do the two jobs together? The constitution of the president was very clear. You cannot have another job apart from this job.
Okay.
Although we are all aware when they say job.
Ms. Akofiale, you have 2 minutes now, please. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Akofiale, I think you've spoken enough. I think you've spoken enough.
Before I went to my car, before I went to where I can be able to.
No, Mr. Tegbe, hold on. No, yes, Mr. Kofi Ali, I have time located to everyone. You've spoken at least. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. Mr. Tegbe, please hold the line for me, please. Okay.
And they have people working in that office with them as research officers. So what you are having there is a full-time job, and they need to visit department and ministries almost on the daily basis, and they have a job in their constituency to make sure things are going right. Can you see?
Okay.
And that person is living beyond the salary Ghanaians. Our widow might is that person. And when I was having a conversation to ask that, where is he getting this extra money from? It's either he's not going to parliament, or he's a contractor who has taken some big millions and is enjoying it. Even the president himself during the time of Mahmoud said he was going to pay tax. You know, they always tell Ghanaians we are stupid. We need to let them tell them why we don't take them serious.
All right.
When they were there, we suffered the same thing. This is what the boy is sitting there and saying that maybe we need a task force. Let me tell you something. Hey, Muhammad himself was on record and was on a record. He went to tax office to pay his tax. And we asked him, why are you paying tax? He said, look, I'm getting royalties. Is that not true? And we
Yes,
all
sir.
know on books royalties a period, isn't it?
Okay.
And he said he has a fund that he's running. It means this man does not stay in his office. He's busy doing other things. Well, let us get here. Why must you pay tax if it's a reliability company? A partnership or anything, the owners are part of the company. You are
Okay.
Is that not true?
Can you stay on the topic? Can you stay on the topic, Mr. Kofi Ali? I don't want you to switch like when the topic.
We are being told that angels are coming to save us. We let armed robbers and those here. You see, we have armed robbers who are killing us now. And then the armed robbers we did away with are saying that they are now repentant born again armed robbers.
Okay, Mr. Kofi Ali, please, let me get your brother. Let me get your brother, Chairman.
If we don't do that very well,
Okay.
I swear when they come into office, the least they will do will be more than what you did the last time.
All right. Thank you.
Do you know what you say now?
All right. Let
And these arrogants were able to come behind our own.
really, you go and drink water. You go and drink water. Let me get your brother, Chairman, and then I'll come back to you, please.
Doctor, can I ask you a question? Are we saying now, as the citizens?
Okay, Martin. Now, before I go on, please, Tegbe, listen. Before I go on, please check your time. You would realize that before I give everyone a chance, I set at least 10 to 8 minutes before I come to you. So please, I'm not being biased. I know what I'm doing.
No, I haven't said you're being biased. I'm just saying.
Uh-huh.
Is that the sentence that we need to extend the time at the end to get?
No, I'm trying to give everyone the same time, please. So you listen to me. I'll come back to you. I've got Mr. Gabo, who has not spoken today. I'm getting chairman now, and so from chairman, then I go to everyone to make sure I give everyone 10 minutes at least. Good morning, sir.
Just before you go, Ghana petrol has been increased 73.2%.
Chairman, gentlemen, Tegbe,
Okay.
I've got chairman who hasn't spoken today. Good morning, sir.
No problem.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm not too bad.
The line is very hot. I think this petrol issue and Adwa Safo is becoming more of a very annoying issue, especially the number of time she's been away, and until now, the seat is revoked. And then your view on that, and then we'll come to the petrol, please.
Okay. The case of Madam Adwa Safo, it's a very concerning one, in the sense that our government should not allow this lady to be absent from Parliament for several months. She must be kicked out of our Parliament, and then serious people put in place. Whether MPP is going to replace with somebody else to be a minister, I think it's better. You don't need to be an MP before you can be a minister. You understand? The government seems not to be in control. This lady messing the whole Ghana up. It's not just NPP. It's we Ghana. The job Madam Adjua is doing, we are all interested as Ghanaians. Because the position is important, serving the people of Ghana, not the people of NDC, NPP. So for that one, it shouldn't have happened at all. In fact, the Ghana government, the NPP government, needs a massive apology to Ghanaians for putting such a person in top position like that, the minister, in inverted commas. And she is telling us her son is unwell. Is she a medical doctor? She's not.
Oh, Chairman, can't one talk if your child is not well? Is it only the doctor that can confirm that?
Well, she can talk, but how unwell has the son been for several months? What type of disease is that? Then we're interested to know.
Well,
we're interested to know because you've been in a hospital in the USA where we got some crap medical facilities. In the USA, your son is attending school, God knows whatever. In the USA, you got best medical facilities are there, and you will be there for several months. Then what type of disease is that? If it becomes a matter of public interest, you can say it's private. It's a matter of public interest.
So what's your issue? You think she's lying? She's not serious? Or...
Oh, no. I accept what she's saying, but she's unfit to be a minister or even a member of parliament.
Well,
that is not why she was elected to do. If you think you can't do the job because your son or your daughter or your wife is unwell, we understand it. We are humans. We empathize and sympathize with her, but not against all Ghanaians. Expectation of Ghanaians. It's a more important job to do. So if you are not available to do the job, raise up your hand to Nana Akufo-Addo. She got so many people in MPP who can do the job she's doing. After all, it's only gender, but it's not it's rocket science.
I do understand.
It's not
yeah.
rocket science. Anybody can do it. So she can step aside. I'll say, I'm sorry, I'm indisposed, I'm not available because my son is unwell. We all have children. Of course, I understand that point of view. But you can't be a minister and for several months you are attending to the needs of your family. That means you are indisposed. Please be honest to tell us you can't do the same the people of Ghana. You understand? And they focus on your son. We wish the son the best of health and in the woman the best of luck. I'm not being funny. I'm also a parent. If I can't do the job, I won't go to office at all. I'll look after my son or my daughter. That's what I'm saying. It's nothing personal, but it tells you that the government or the president is not in charge. It's not in control of affairs.
I think that's the word.
If you're seriously in control of affairs, you say, Madam Adjua, please stay on the side. You put your Kuaban in there. Until you are fit enough to come back to office, then that's fine. But the woman has been paid, there's some money changing hands, they say some God knows Mr. Japan or MPP official went to his house to meet him and give you some cash. Come on, this cannot happen. This cannot happen. This is what MPP is there for.
Yeah.
What's that in their manifesto?
It's a shame. It's really a shame. But Chairman, let me ask you this. Any reason you think the Parliament had waited all these while until now?
Yeah, the reason is that the NPP as the government is getting the intelligence of Ghanaians. They disregard us. They think they are in power forever and ever. It's not possible. You will be out one of these fine times. You will be not even Dima was not there forever. And nobody, not Busia, no one can be there forever. Not Mr. Reagan, not Mr. Obama, nobody can be there forever. But they're not thinking. They're not thinking in that Jubilee House. They're not thinking. They're not using their brains. If they've got sensible people in the parliament, in the NPP administration, they must advise the government because number one, he's not in charge. Two, his family and friends are in charge. Three, so he can't fire any of them. But I just Suffolk shouldn't have happened. It's an embarrassment. Would you have done it in the UK or USA or even Bangladesh. Huh? It's not nice. I'm not being funny. I like the lady. It's not a matter of liking the person. We're all human beings. You understand? But seriously, there's a lot of, we're a developing country. There's a more important jobs to do. And we need all our members of parliament, all our ministers to put heads together. Look at what's happening in the UK now. Right now, do you know who is working behind the scenes and supporting the government, because Mr. Boris Johnson is almost not in control and all that. And other people are supporting until a substantive or, a new prime minister is confirmed. But they are all shuffling, they are all supporting. So that's what we want to see. I don't want to see the end of NPP administration. They still go after 2024. We are hoping so, but we are praying that they shouldn't have unnecessary distractions so that they can serve the people of Ghana. I'm not talking about my political party, Progressive People's Party. We don't have even a dog in parliament. We don't care. But we are Ghanaians. And we respect whoever is based on authority to rule us.
Yeah, at least now you're more recognized, at least, than the CPP. We don't hear anything about them. So it's fair enough. Yeah. What's the message in Patibia? That's the message in Patibia. In the sense, at least we hear of PPP, papacy's problems and all that. But CPP, it's that. My dad is CPP, but we don't hear anything about CPP.
I am putting all of them together. That is why maybe they are quiet. I am doing the job of putting all the Chromized children together. And once that happens, it's going to come out big, and we will take part in the general elections of 2024 as a one unit. Because the NPP has done it before. NPP did it before.
You've got Odupon shaking his head. You've got Mr. Odupon shaking his head. I think he's excited about the fact that PPP will be coming very soon.
Oh, yes, we will become very soon. Because that's what I said. NPP did it before. It was 6 political parties that got together to form United Party, which later on now we know as NPP. Wizia had National Liberation Movement, NLF from Sinyani, God knows what, and Low Youth Association from Maloga, Accra Gan Shimofo, whatever, Ashanti Youth Association. It was beautiful. All these 1, 2 splitter groups, small parties, 6 of them, they got together. I'm not going to say, my friend, we don't want tribalism. They were formed on tribal lines. We have NPP. The real NPP, Northern People's Party. And they're Northern Ghana. They call the NPP, that's the genuine NPP. Northern People's Party. Come and grow one in one power. You stood in parliament, they say, my friend, we cannot tolerate.
Okay, Chairman, you've done 8 minutes. You have 2 minutes more. That'll be it.
2 more minutes?
Yes.
Okay. So that I'm saying the most important thing. So they did it before. And today too, we are back on track. CPP is there, PPP is there, GCPP, PLC and all that there. They are talking to come back together just as NPP did in 1957. And so NPP is as old as 65 years old. So when they came together, now that at least by God's grace, they've got a chance to rule. But if they were in splitted groups, they would never have a chance to rule. So we are repeating history. We are also coming for 2024 general elections.
Wow, sir.
And anybody want to join us, please give my contact Dr. Morton and let me know. I'll come to that person's house. Whether you are in Canada, USA, I don't mind, I'll travel there.
PPP. Wow, sir. Wow, sir, yeah.
Yes, sir,
okay.
I'm working with them from Canada and the USA, Europe.
All right.
I'm working with Utah. I'm going to see them. We are coming.
All right. Thank you very much, Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. That was Chairman. Mr. Dupont, that was Chairman Yosin, always PPP. And I think he's very particular, sure about they coming as a third party. And do you sense the coming in of a third party? Could you tell? Yes, Gabu, stay on the line 1 minute from me. Odipo, could you sense the coming in of a third party?
Well, the third party is overdue. Okay?
It's long overdue.
It's long overdue. Okay? And that's what I think some of the people think that, oh, as soon as Odupon talks, he's going to mention third party, and then
Yeah, but at least then they believe that you don't belong to any party.
yes, I mean, I said what I said about the president being a fatherly figure which somebody pick on. It's not because I belong to
That
or
party.
I am sympathetic to. But the thing is, they say, Akroma Sadaya, Akoko Sadaya,
Nkrumah.
and Yakumafe.
Mm.
You see, the two parties have been dancing all the time. And
I think it's about time we get somebody serious.
yes, it's so it's important for the country at present. We've tried for 65 years after Nkrumah, and nothing substantial has happened.
It's too much of repetitive, the same government.
Exactly. This one come create and loot, and then the other one comes and all the names.
You got Segabu laughing. Good morning, Segabu.
Good morning, good morning.
This morning, this place is fire and hot.
Good morning, fellow listeners. Good morning, John Nkrumah, young man, politician. Good morning, Sabato, all contributors. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Listeners. And good morning.
I think it's good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm a bit disoriented. That's why I can't even find the station number. I suggest next time, anytime you bring the programs for the day, just below it, bring the number so that some of us can.
Our condolences to you, your cherished brother who, demise has hit you below belt. Yes, go on, sir.
I know you talk about newspaper. I know you're not talking about third party. What else have you talked about?
No, I think the newspaper is only meant for the platform. It's not something we're discussing. That I have thrusted that into the hands of those that have position to take care of that. We're talking about the petrol prices, and then Adwoa Safo's absence that has finally been revoked.
Maybe with regards to the newspaper, I would say that I know it is settled, but I say my views, but I still wish to maintain that whatever anybody wants to write about, any editorial policy of any newspaper in Ghana, even here in London, no one can change it. We know how the Daily Express, they are always for Boris, they are always for conservatives. We have the Mirror is for the Labour. They all have their own parties. So the same thing happens in Ghana. We know the newspapers that are for NDC, those for MPP, and those that stay positive, neutral. We know them. No one can stop anybody from having some political leanings when he's an editor or a journalist. Whatever anybody writes, we don't live in information age. We all get information from different sources. So if anybody writes something, and I strongly believe that what is out there is not the actual thing on the ground. I will just speak my mind and debunk it and find evidence to say why I think what has been reported is not the worthy news. So for newspapers, if you're not going to talk about what the newspapers have reported,
because what we're talking about is not the fact that we're not saying about newspaper. What we're talking about is the newspaper issue is only confined on the platform, but now we're talking about Adwoa Safo's absence that has now been revoked, and then the petrol prices. That's all.
Okay. I think the president has been bold enough to do the right thing. Now, I think everybody is not happy about the way the lady has handled her position. And these days, not only does it spoil the MPP party, the image of the party, but the whole democracy. But the reason why some of us were not talking about the fact is that anytime something happens in Ghana, we always quick to condemn. But there's always a process to deal with issues.
That's right.
If you think somebody has embezzled funds, if you think Adwoa Safo has left her position,
Odupon is cheering you on. He's saying that you are right.
Long overdue. Anytime that happens, because maybe some of us have no access to
what the law says about any issue. Anytime something happens, we are quick to condemn. And Joseph West's case, maybe it is a time that maybe the legal process and there's every power that the president has, maybe he can apply it to revoke her position. It's always about what the law says. It's not about anybody's feelings. Anytime something happens in Ghana, you know, the Canadian MP who is going to the court up and down. We know cases are in court about people who we think have embezzled government funds. Anytime something happens, the people have done this. Why are they walking around? I know. Sanzoladi has even run his opinion on certain issues in Ghana. But he knows it. I read some newspaper here, some report here in this country about the criminal justice in this country. Sometimes something happens and you think about the next 5 years before even the person can be probable. I was doing some of this activity. I said, sister, do you know what is happening now? Now they are saying that I know a boy who is getting in trouble, and then the court is saying that they are going to call him next year, July. And then I called this and I said, did you hear that? Next year, July. You see how this young man is going to, the way he's going to suffer about this. If this case were in Ghana, we are all condemned. Oh, why did that? So if the president has able to do this now, I think this is what if the law allow him to do it. So my suggestion here is that anytime things come like this that borders on criminality, not criminality, it borders on legal processes, we should always allow the process, because this is what we have imposed upon ourselves. It's not the case that Joseph Why is not in parliament 1 month. Revoke his position.
What I realize, Gabo, and it's I think people are considering her excuse not to be good enough, and the fact that she's seen over social media, peddling all over the place with the excuse that her daughter is sick or her son is sick, but they expect somebody who, as a parliamentarian or minister or MP, if so be your excuse, they expect you to be at home with your children or whoever the child is, instead of singing on social as if what the excuse you give in Parliament is not true. And I think that is what yielded the argument that her seat is being wasted.
Again, singing on the social media. Do we have the date? Do you have the record?
Well, with that, I can confirm. I can even send it to you upon research that I've seen her, But not to say that because your son is sick means the end of the world. You shouldn't be happy. It does, but the question as to whether if she is free to be around.
Let me do that to watch. Was it an occasion after her son or her?
I think it was at the expense of the excuse, because what it is if at that time you can be around, then of course you might as well be in Parliament. That's the argument. Do you get my point? I think this is what people are fuming about, and so I agree to some extent. Does that make sense?
Well, it does make sense.
That is all I'm saying.
Because we are not privy to the timing of the video, whether the video precedes her son's illness or whether the video is after her son's illness. Then somebody can talk about it. But we don't know. Again, it comes to the legal aspect of it. It's not when things like this happen. It has nothing to do with emotions. What does the law, what are the processes, the parliamentary processes in Ghana, what the constitution says? It's always about that. It's not about what people say and express their emotions and talk and demolish it.
Okay, so now we have 2 minutes,
demolish
please.
the system. And, maybe this is what I can say because I didn't come in a bit disoriented. I've not been able to follow all the arguments better.
This is so far. This is what we're talking about. It's just the petrol and then the address of which I didn't see you much talking about the petrol prices. But if you want to summarize on the 2 minutes left on the petrol, because my problem, as I said earlier, is not the prices, but it's the consistency as it keeps going up. I know that everywhere is tight, but it looks to see our case is getting out of hands.
The petrol issue. Do you have an outfit that uses petrol?
Well,
you see, the petrol issue in Ghana again. This It's not about the president, though. It's about the system we have put in place for petrol price to go up. It's about a system. It's about what is happening in the international market. A lot of factors come into play when we're talking about an increase in petrol. We all wish the petrol increases will not be as, will not be going up on a rampant basis and even at higher prices more than the other person can afford. But again, what are the factors that bring all these prices into play? What are the factors? It is always not about a president sitting somewhere. We have a company that deals with the increase in petrol prices. What system have you put in place that at any time this and this happens, the price of petrol must go up? Have you looked at it?
Well, that's a good question.
Have you looked at it as compared to periods?
That is a very good question.
Happens? Are you looking at it? It's not about anybody's, of course, when people feel something, they have to express their emotions about it. But have you taken pains to find out who is in charge of increasing the petrol prices? What system have we put in place that generates or that triggers the petrol increases in prices? And how rapid it goes, and how do you compare that vis-a-vis what is happening on the international market? You must look at all these.
Okay, thank you very much. It makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you very much, Mr. Gabu, for your contribution this morning. Thank you very much. Odipo, you see, he's made a very good contributing factor that somebody has to be as to what leads to the petrol prices. But I think whatever it is, you are there to make sure things are comfortable for all Ghanaians, whether or not. And so maybe somebody will answer him as we go along.
Yes. I keep saying that before we start to criticize, we must look at what is happening and beyond what is happening now.
Yes.
Because every story has two sides, and it also has the basics of it.
Yes.
I sent you a video some time ago about the mining industry in Ghana. And in that video, it is said that America and Canada owns the mines, isn't it?
Yes.
The percentage for Ghana was almost nil. Yeah. So in this case, how are you going to blame the president? Because it's something that has been set in motion till date. So what we as a country and the president should be doing is negotiating for a better deal. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But people are not looking at these issues, but they rather come straight bashing the president. But there have been other presidents before this president.
But must we go back to other presidents instead of the current government, who we believe said he's going to do the job and then thrust the job into his hands?
There are issues this president cannot avoid. Okay, the blame stops with the president. Yeah, but there are issues which came before this president is coming. Yeah, which he says he's coming to solve, and that's where JM said you cannot advise the president because you haven't been a president. There are certain things hidden from you that you don't know until you reach there before you say, okay. So what we as a nation should be looking at, as I said, is revisiting all the agreements we've done before.
Please, whoever is calling the Skype line, I don't know. I'm trying to retrieve the number and call you back. If you can put it on a platform, then I can pick it, because the call, when I pick, it ends. It doesn't even come. Go on, please.
When you look at what the former president and the late president, Dr. Nkrumah, did, right? He put on a lot of foundations.
Okay.
If some of these foundations have been followed, we will not be where we are today. factories that were cemented, roads that were discontinued, books that were burnt.
Hello, who's on the line, please? Hello, who's on the line? No, Joe, I know you're there. Somebody else is calling the line. May I know? I know Tegbe is on the line, but who else is on the line? I don't seem to see how to pick the line. Yes.
So if we had followed from one regime to the other, then you would have seen that by this time we've been able to solve some problems. But because we have discontinued and started, we've start, discontinue. We're not getting anywhere. Okay? So that's why we have petrol problems. Agriculture, we have problems. A country like Ghana with so good soil, we shouldn't be talking about Russia and Ukraine fighting, and we haven't been.
Well, we made to understand that they are all factors why we're suffering. So
it shouldn't be factors.
Well, that's what they tell us.
Okay,
which it shouldn't. I agree with you, but this is what they're saying.
It's because we haven't planned, and we haven't looked ahead. We haven't got foresight. Okay, if we had foresight like our predecessors, some of our great disasters had, we will not be where we are. We will not be hungry. But people have become lazy in the sense that the easiest way is get a contract, go and buy tires from Ukraine or Russia and come and sell it in the country, or go and get pharmaceuticals from India, come and sell in the country. But we trained PhDs.
Oh dear, it's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, we have educated professionals who can do the same thing as other people are doing in their countries. But why can't they do the same thing in our country?
Okay, that's a good question. So Dupont's asking, Joe, welcome back again. I decided to pick you because otherwise I wouldn't have allowed Gabo chairman and all that, as we have just limited lines. I do apologize for that. My question is, now, if you heard your uncle say Gabo, he asked a very, very pertinent question that sometimes we are not at the very place where we would accuse of negligence, especially if you don't know what leads to certain decision making. Do you agree with him, or you think this is a mere excuse of a partisan contribution?
First of all, I would like to ask this question, and this is not to do with anything, but I just want to know: did you say Gabo has lost a relative?
Oh yeah, he's lost a brother who wrote The Economic Made Easier, I think, during the 80s. His book peddled most of the O levels and A levels during those days, but. He's grieving at the moment. Or he's so.
Okay. Our sympathies and condolences to him. I mean, it is not easy.
However,
I hope tomorrow, if I come on radio to say Gabo killed his brother, he will not be angry to take me to court. The same pain he's making another family go through, he would not take me to court. So
why are you saying that? Okay.
Was he not the one who posted a video about Atamer's wife and NDC killing Atamer? Was he not the one?
Not that I remember of. Not that I remember of. Yes.
Yes, this morning I found a ranting on the look.
Oh, I think I saw something like that. Yeah, I didn't read what led to your writing. Okay.
We are doing politics, right? We are doing politics. No matter how I may disagree with Nana, his demise will not be my moment of glory or moment of happiness.
Never.
You understand?
I can tell from how you are rendering condolences to the man. So I agree with you.
Yeah. Would he be happy today if tomorrow Joe picks up the phone and call the radio and say, "Oh, the Gabo has killed his brother for Richard because he wants to become a minister in Ghana"? Would he be happy?
I don't think so.
No matter how, if look at your finger. Today he's lost a brother. We'll revisit that issue. But then also another thing.
Okay.
You see, when you lie and like Segabo Kevin, as much as he's grieving, which I understand and I sympathize with him so much.
Okay.
I like him. He's my father. We disagree, and that is how family is supposed to be.
I think you appreciate that.
I like him. Yeah, and I mean we disagree and all that, but he's a fine gentleman and all that.
Okay.
I mean, with all due respect.
Okay.
But the point is,
right.
In as much as he's grieving, he came this morning so sober. And I don't think his actions or inactions or his attitude of being sober is as a result of his brother's death. But it is as a result of the truth exposing him. If you lie and lie and lie and lie, the truth will make you sober.
Joe, is the noise coming from your end? Is the noise coming from your end?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, but I'm not there.
Yeah, go on.
Mr. Udupon was talking about Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. When Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was putting things in place, wasn't all these people who were talking at that time? Did they try to find out what is probably confronting us as a nation before they made the argument? When John Mahama was solving doom, so when John Mahama was building infrastructure, did they consider what was wrong? Rather than Akufo-Addo always stating that we did not even qualify for Africa Cup or whatever, and because it was John Mahama was evil, so we didn't qualify for Africa Cup. Did they think which players we used to play for the qualification? Did they ever have a thought about it? Today you want to be given a free time so that we kind of try to mitigate what is causing us. Nothing is causing us. Nothing is causing us. They are insensitive, they are corrupt, and they are everything that we need to use to describe them. Nobody should have sympathy for this government. It is inept, it is blunt, it is insidious, and it is all the adjective that we can ever talk of. Look, for me, prices are going up and down, up and down, up and down. And you would think that as a sensitive leader, he will be sober like Segabo is sober this morning because the truth has exposed him and now he cannot have any good thing to say. Only for him to come and be talking about newspapers and all that. I mean, that's how it is. When you have nothing to say, you go carrying about newspapers.
Okay, so what you that have something to say, can you talk about whatever you have to say and to leave the newspaper and say Gabo as well?
What I am saying is that the government is insensitive.
Okay.
There is nothing. We don't have. Baumia said something. How come that Ukraine Russia war will all of a sudden evaporate and land in Ghana, but it doesn't affect Ivory Coast, it doesn't affect Burkina Faso, it doesn't affect Togo, and all of a sudden it has landed in Ghana? How is that possible? And Baumia made that statement at that time when he was saying it. Gabo was giving clap back, because he has said something so meaningful. Today, when we are referring you see, nobody is judging this government. It is posterity that is judging them. No NDC, PPP, CDPP member is judging this government. It is posterity that is judging them. You call John Mahama a thief, you call him all sort of names. Today, who is the thief? Today, who is the thief? Today, who is the thief today? Today, petroleum. We buy petroleum like we are buying condom because the price just keeps going up and down, just like that. There's no sensitivity. The government does not think about the people. And all that. You see, you would have thought, you would have made it that even, let us take it, that even the Russia-Ukraine war is kind of making things as it is now. What do you expect a sensitive government to do? What do you expect a sensitive leader to do? Look, let me cut down the number of ministers. The money we can preserve, let us use it to kind of subsidize the fuel price. Or some taxes that are on the fuel price. Let us remove those taxes so that Ghanaians can have a breathing space in kind of having a fair price in purchasing of the oil. But what do we see? This president says he doesn't care. It is not bothered because for him, 6 months when he ascended onto the throne, his daughter came to buy £1 million house in London. Now, Asante Medieto is owning a sand beach or sandbox, whatever beach in Ghana. the most expensive. Today, Gabriel can rent a private jet, come to UK on Saturday, and go back to Ghana on Monday. We're not talking about it. And all we are talking about is NDC and MPP are the same. In NDC's time, who was renting private jet? Who was renting private? You see, that attitude, when we think for one person, he cannot buy it. So when we label him, when we tag him, when we do this, it's okay. But for just recently, I don't know if it's Dr. Papa Coutinho, because that Twitter page, I cannot really
recollect it. No problem.
The picture was posted by Papa Coutinho. I saw his picture there. About Yvonne Nelson, when he was either receiving an appointment or whatever from Akufo. You saw Yvonne Nelson, what he did under Mohammed's time.
Okay, let me come in. Should anybody not take these two particular parties serious, and to assume that the third force would be the best option? Now, the way and manner somebody spends the coffers of the country, we could also look at it in different perspectives. Now, Victor Salome, when he was jailed, records that I made with the research claim that the school fees of the children in Minnesota University or whatever was also very alarming as compared to this private jet stuff you're talking about. It all ends up in squandering the country's coffers. Am I making sense?
Yeah, so you are trying to
say that there's so many ways. Yeah, that's to say that it can always be private jet. It could be something else. I mean, Akufo-Addo, we don't agree spending this huge amount of money, but it could be other options that the country spends money as well. You know.
Doc.
Yes.
Victor Salome, whether it was fair trial or not, it's up to whoever took him to court.
Yeah, together with the Kwame Prepra.
Is it also not the case that is the reason why we voted the NDC out of power?
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
No, I'm coming. Was it the case that we voted the NDC out of power because they spent 10 billion in giving someone education, and then you have to come and rent a luxurious private jet more expensive than what the NDC did?
I'm not even making a comparative statement. I'm saying that.
The point is that.
Okay.
The point is that even Rishi Sunak or whatever he thinks, who is vying to be the prime minister of this country, during the COVID time, with no levels of allegation that has been leveled against him about COVID and all that, how his wife, you see, you can never say that you're going to get a Holy Mary coming to lead the country. You can never say that. It can never happen because at the end of the day, if John Mahama comes, it is not John Mahama who is going to Minister of Finance, Minister of Education, Minister of Interior. No, he is going to appoint people. Some of these people are going to be, as humans as we are. Yes, we're going to have it. But what we are saying is, if the leader is able to stamp his feet down, it gives that precedent that who is coming will also realize that, look, this is what will happen to me if I kind of go overboard. Now, the NDC, John Mahama, someone developed a thought that if he or she gets the chance, she wants to make $1 million and exit power. What happened to him? The Northern Accelerated Development, Savannah, whatever, Abu Ghapele, what happened to him?
Okay, Joe, 8 minutes done. You have 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, for Akufo-Addo's mischievous whatever, he went and released Abu Ghapele from prison so that they would say, oh, even him, he likes the NDC people. Abu Ghapele, President Mahama, make sure he faces the law. You see, so this is what we are talking about. Would you want a president? Yes, there are going to be corrupt persons in any government. In UK, in Joe Biden, you heard a story about his son. In any administration, there's going to be corrupt people. But the point is, who will put his feet down in arresting the corrupt people? Who is going to ensure that there is value for money? Just recently, I've heard about a story of an infrastructure that was about 29 million, and Akufo-Addo 1 year, it has now ballooned to over 69 million, over 40-something million.
Wow, this is crazy.
Just to finish the infrastructure, something that if we are to start from the scratch to the head, it's going to cost the nation 29 million.
I think the cathedral also came about, the expenses and the time that it's going to take to do.
You understand? You understand? So if we are talking about, no, Doc, if John Mahama was a thief, let us even assume without admitting that he's a thief. The thief that has built us one of the best airports in Africa And even in the world, it's even competing.
Well, Joe.
I think that has brought us one of the most modern hospitals.
Well, so
When you compare it to this thief, Akufo-Addo thief who is using it to rent private jets
okay,
and be
so
having sex with people in the air. We
your
don't know who we want.
okay, what the thing is, whether a thief, you know, who stole just a microphone, or a thief that even if you went to Jesus Christ to have
And
dinner
I
with
don't
him.
even believe John Mahama is a thief. I don't even believe that. John Mahama.
Well, bottom line is a thief is a thief.
And you see, the Mr. Dupont and Mr. Kitios. I mean, I'll finish with it.
Okay,
Mr. Dupont
please.
and Mr. Kitios. Look,
I've got Tegbe waiting. Okay.
me myself, I believe in the ideals of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, right?
Okay.
But where I have problem, especially with Mr. Kitios, where I have problem with the PPP agenda is why a CPP man, knowing what these people did to Kwame Nkrumah, yet they found it luxurious to merge the CPP with MPP in 2001 or so. To support Akufo-Addo, 2012, they were still supporting Akufo-Addo. Now, when it comes to you, when is John Mahama is an Nkrumah? His father was with Kwame Nkrumah. When it comes to you, lending your support to the NDC so that we can rescue a nation, all of a sudden you are talking about petrol. Is it that you hate the NDC so much? Is it that FPP is good for you, but the NDC you hate so much? I mean, this attitude, this hypocritical attitude, we have a nation to protect. It is not about gambling again. Someone says submission, we have not seen anything. We are not going to submission any third form of force. Young consult third force, we know who can do the job.
Okay.
We know who has done it before.
All right.
We know who can do it. And Mr. Tegbe, last one.
Okay.
I think now he says he agrees with me.
Not everything.
I am happy.
Let's see what you have coming, if you agree with that.
Yeah, but where we had a disagreement is not because I don't believe the NDC is better. I believe the NDC is 1 billion times better.
Okay, that's fair enough.
No third force to be tolerated. But what I'm saying is that today we are singing hallelujah, hallelujah.
Joe is very undemocratic.
We need to guard the space.
All right.
Because the more we hail them and hail them and hail them, that is why
Okay.
MPs and ministers who will be coming, they will also take the luxury of stealing and all that. So let us try to avoid it
Okay.
by telling our own children, telling the NDC people who are coming that look, we are not going to give you room for you to do what the MPP is doing. We don't want to come and be comparing who stole more yesterday and who is stealing less today. We
Okay.
want to have a sanitary system. We want an NDC MP for everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. So let's see who we got on the line. Mr. Tekwe is gone. Okay. Oh dear. Yeah, Mr. Tegwe. Hello.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I got cut off.
Yeah, your line cut. I was trying to reach you back. I don't know whether you got tired, but did you hear Joe's final submission? He said, I'm not sure whether you agree with him.
Yes, I did. I've noticed Joe was taking advantage of our agreement.
But I know that one, it doesn't matter where he's wrong, you still come in to say it. Right.
Nah,
So
I have no problem with disagreeing with anybody. What I have problems with is the posturing and people pretending either to have some superior knowledge, but whilst aggressively trying to, protect this president. A leader is chosen for a reason. The president is not doing anybody a favor. It is a job entrusted to you, which you are paid for. He is to be held accountable. I vehemently disagree with anyone that comes in and tries to make any kind of excuses. This president was the one, if you cast your mind back into our history in the Fourth Republic, that started calling other presidents' names, Professor Doolittle, this, and casting insinuations without causing proof. I stand by the fact that anyone that makes excuses for him now but pretends to say they are unhappy is just a hypocrite and a coward. Unfortunately, they are afraid to call him to boots. Do they act as if, oh, I'm tiring everybody with the same brush, I'm speaking against everybody? No, you are as cowardice. Don't let us pretend. Anyway, moving on to the issues we are discussing. Petrol prices, 73.2%. This is on statistics.com. That's the increment that we have seen from January 3rd till present, 73.2%. And people will come on the radio and say, oh, the president cannot control. What is the leadership role for? You are there to spearhead. The reason why CEOs and directors and all leaders in different companies are given perks and given an easy or assumed easy life and catered for hand and foot is to give you the peace of mind so you have nothing else to worry about but to better the sector that you are in charge of. Nothing else. That is his job. It is not a favor he's doing for anybody. It is his job. Now, we'll go to the Constitution. 97.1, talking about member of parliament vacating his seat.
Okay.
So this is on the Adwoa Safo issue.
Right.
Okay. This is what the Constitution says. 1. Members shall vacate their seat, A, upon dissolution of Parliament, B, if it's selected as a Speaker, C, if it's absent without the permission
Okay.
and waiting of the Speaker and unable to offer a reasonable explanation
Okay.
to the parliamentary community. Okay?
Okay.
Our privileges for 15 sittings. This is what I was asking earlier. 15 sittings of a meeting or during any period that Parliament has been summoned to meet and continues to be. So I'll say let's look at the 97C. Now, for all those that came on earlier and said, oh, President has to be humanitarian in this.
Okay.
President is not superior to the Constitution. So it is about enforcing. Now, the Member of Parliament issue, procedures have to be activated. What we have found.
Hang on, Joe, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes. It's people that have tried to look from a personal angle. Oh, it's a parent, the child is sick. Yes, we are all parents, I presume. I mean, the age range that comes on this platform, I am sure everybody has either seen or looking after kids or even grandparents at a point. But it's your family unit bigger than the nation that you're obligated to. I will choose my family if I need to go and attend to a sick child. Adwoa Safo, in her own right, is not the one who's supposed to enforce or activate any proceedings against herself. If you go to work or you don't go to work and you still be paid the same amount, I'm sure everybody here might probably take the latter option. So the person in charge or the persons or people around that we haven't trusted to look after this constitution, that have sworn oaths and laid their hand on Bibles and being paid salaries to do this, we need to look at them. It is irrelevant how Adwoa goes on TikTok and all. That's a personal life. She's entitled to do that at any time. None of those TikTok videos or videos that were leaked had any time stamp for us to be discussing. Anyway, it is just a distraction. People focus on that instead of addressing what has been done. 15 days. We had members of both sides making excuses for this. But are they bound by the Constitution? This is the question we need to be asking.
Yeah.
Not Kofi Ali coming and ranting and shouting and telling everyone what question to ask. No. There is a way to go by it. If we disagree, we go to the framework. That framework is the Constitution. Not my opinion, not your opinion, but verifiable facts, which you know, Doctor, I've always preached this. That verifiable fact, it settles everything. It is not an ego contest. It is not who can shout the loudest, but what is the basis for this conversation we are having.
All right, Mr. Tegbe, can I ask you a very simple question, please?
Yes, go ahead.
Right. So, do we require the transparency of which magnitude of sickness a parliamentary son or daughter has, referring or regarding parliamentary's, lens on one's excuse?
No, please.
No.
No. What do we need it for?
Well, what I'm saying is with the magnitude of sickness. With the magnitude of sickness.
It is. If your wife is sick today, you're coming to host the show, Doctor. If you think that your wife having a cold supersedes what you're coming to do, that value you place on it is personal. Now, if the radio station is not owned by you and you inform your boss, it is the owners of your boss to find somebody to maintain that. The radio station should not close down because you have chosen run a personal errand. We need to separate that. That is why there are always guidelines and frameworks within people or organizations are meant to operate within. It could be a cough. It is not for me and you to be judging the magnitude. It is how, as a parent, she perceives the importance of that.
I think you answered my question brilliantly. Thank you very much.
The issue I'm saying is that it is the leadership to enforce the Constitution that is bound. Is she on sick pay? What is being done in her absence? Are all her entitlements still being maintained? Those are the things. After the 15 days, what has been established? Because if I am right, if my memory serves me right, there is a part, and I need to find that for you, that says that when the speaker certifies that it does not need to be disclosed in our Constitution. I will find that and come to you in a minute.
Please.
On that. So when that is done, initially the brouhaha was whether the speaker had been informed. Then there was some story going around about it was a president that appointed, now Ms. Adjoa Safo, in her own right, has not done herself any favors, because at some point she came out and tried to weigh in on the matter. I thought that was unnecessary. As a lawyer, what you say carries a lot of weight. And then it does then kind of lean into some of the stories that are flying around. We don't need to tap into any of those because nobody has substantiated that with any, verifiable fact. But has the president done the needful? And I asked the question earlier, does everybody who then goes into government office get the same leeway? If not, then it begs the question why this case was different. Because who am I to determine, doctor, that your daughter having an itch does not give you grave concern, but my daughter having another scratch on another part of the arm is more important? It is not a conversation that you can get into because it's a very, very slippery slope. We need to be careful. We are dealing with a government that has sunk the country to the lowest plateau that I am aware of. We fed 3 to 400,000 families allegedly with 54.3 million in 3 weeks, feeding them kinky and fish. A country with a population of 30 million. We spent 100 million buying face masks.
Okay.
And Veronica buckets. And yet you have people that will claim to be enlightened, to want to be educating people, telling you, oh, it's okay, all governments are the same. I want someone to point to a university or a landmark hospital that has been put in place with this government. We spent 33 million or whatever for the design of Agenda 111 logo. What is it selling Ghanaians who are hypocritical want? What do they want to happen before they are able to speak the truth? Today you might be comfortable, but remember, if you're the only rich person on your street, you're not safe. The person guarding you, his brother is down the road and is hungry. When it comes to that time,
oh dear,
they're going to come after. When the lights are out and you're the only person with lights in your house, everybody comes to you to watch TV. Let's not wait. Let's not sit in our positions of comfort and turn a blind eye and behave like the ostrich. This president has done the country a lot of wrong. Parliamentarians on both sides, anyone listening in, it is time. Get up, stand up for the right thing. Don't leave the right thing to be done by only a few people. And then they tend to be picked on. Now, one listener, was this a guy that said he lost his brother?
Yes.
My condolences to him. That's in order. But when it comes to matters of national issue,
yeah, I think one thing that I don't know how you refer to that, but I had seen his contribution being the fact that we're not at the very places of issues where they come up with certain difficulty, as the government claims, when it comes to the
accountability. The onus is on the government to produce these documents that you and I are able to verify the information from, so that we are not left to be sharing our opinions. That's why I spoke about baseline or framework when we're going back to the Constitution. You ask for clarification and you get called inept or moronic or you don't know what's going on. Rules Minister on record saying that people in Ghana that have not seen the roads that are being constructed have been left behind. They should double up and catch up. Catch up on it. The president was on record was saying he had constructed 10,000 kilometers of new road. Where are the roads? This is not a computer game. You cannot be lying and then doing gestures. It is disrespectful.
I think it is. I think it is. I think it is.
You'll be called to book. So it is very hypocritical. I always say that when we have the microphone, we should be careful.
I think I agree with you.
Because tomorrow, anybody can pick any of these things and play back, and it is your name with your submission.
All right, you have 4 minutes, Mr. Tegbe, and then I'll pick you as our program comes to an end, please.
Thank you.
4 minutes. That's too
Food
much.
prices,
To
COVID, accountability. It is a quagmire. Now the story of the mid-year review budget. What is going on? All these stories flying around about money being printed. It is so common knowledge now for things to be done without parliamentary approval. And then cloud is just, it's missed outrightly. The actual barometer sheet, it's sad to look at. That's why I asked the question earlier. If you're comfortable going to court in these days, apart from the hope that you might have that when you go there, something wonderful will happen and you will meet a bench, you look at probably the past year and cases upon cases upon cases. The allegation against our Chief Justice for that $5 million bribe has not been spoken about. What are you to make of it if the highest person at the helm of affairs is tagged with this and it has not been debunked? It's just left because we are the top and you can't speak about it. If you do make too much noise, you can disappear. So it makes cowards come out, pretend they're speaking, but they try to sing praises or pretend that they're brushing everybody. What has the money that has been borrowed between 2017 and today been used for? Because it surpasses all the debt figure total. We were in 122 billion debt. Now we are almost 400. Where are the projects? I am sure, Doctor, that 10,000 kilometers of new road, you will not need me to come on this platform to speak about it. You'll be seeing pictures everywhere. People will be calling you. People will be going from their farms to the city without calling you and asking you if you can send them 1,000 Ghana or 50 cities. Because their people are in dire straits. It is despicable. Whilst at the same time, the president would dare go and rent a luxurious jet. I am a short man, but I am taller than the president of Ghana. And apparently he cannot stretch his leg or take a shower in the presidential jet that was ordered by an actual giant. This is taking a mic to the next level. Ghanaians need to open their eyes. If you don't have a copy of the Japadia document, I will share it with you. It is just not, it is evil, pure evil and state capture in full motion. Everything in that book is being followed to a T. The whole idea is to cripple the country. So for those who always come on air and make noise about, oh, it could be like this, there should be like this, there's something that we're not aware of. Why are we not aware of it? We are paying their salaries. If you hire somebody to do a job for you, you expect them to account to you.
Yeah.
It is different than you going to somebody to seek a favor. All presidents held to scrutiny. What was the difference when it was John Mahama's time? Projects were being completed and people had the nerve to criticize what they thought would have been malfeasance, which is right. You should scrutinize. The same people now make excuses. Why is that? If that's not hypocritical, it is extreme hypocrisy and cowardice because people have come to realize what this government plays and how it goes about these things. And certain people, unfortunately, should be bold, but are cowards and are unable to speak on it. Some of us will speak the truth and come what's may. The country has to stand on its feet. That fight to rescue the country is for you and I. Now, this third force issue is a joke, and we should stop confusing people. It's not going to happen, not in the next 8 years. We are all aware of that. It is time, if we really care about the country, to throw our weight behind the viable force, which is the NDC. NDC has the record to back it. This is not a favor you're doing for the NDC, it's a favor you're doing for yourself by joining forces and coming to the place where the right thing can be done.
All right.
Humans are not perfect.
Thank you very much. Your time is up now.
It is for the person in charge to enact whatever laws and guidelines in place to straighten it. Rescue mission is on for 2024. Join the NDC. Join it now.
All right. Thank you very much. Joe.
Yeah, those.
All right. You want to finalize it? Let's go, please.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me of my hypocrisy.
That's fine.
I do accept it because
Okay.
I know the program has come to a close and I'm still asking for time. It is important I do this and I am happy you've given me the opportunity. You see, the reason why I was so mad this morning on Segabo and even when I was talking is because of the man, Professor Moss. I have dealt with him personally, and on Sunday, it was the 10th anniversary of his passing. And given the opportunity now, I think it is right that I say something small about this man and, express my gratitude to him as a person and as the president of Ghana, and wish that his soul, God will grant his soul a befitting resting place and grant him the best of everything that God himself has willed on him. You see, in 2009, I wrote petitions upon petitions upon petitions to the president. I was invited. In fact, first of all, he sent some people to come and ask me what is wrong. Professor Moss stood in front of myself, my MP, and a multi-million-pound company and told them that, look, what this young man is saying, if you don't go and do what he is saying, your license will be revoked. Yes, that is the man we are talking about. This man gave me a name. This man gave me an identity. This man recognized that you don't need to go to Harvard or Pennsylvania or Oxford to be known to be talking truth or to be saying the true thing. But whatever you are doing, if you are making sense, they will listen to you. And so I am happy to listen to me. It helped the people of Pristia to have the pit that was dug by Golden Star. Opportunity. Today, a lot of people are benefiting from the refill of that pit. And I am very happy, and I am grateful to Professor Moss. I am grateful to his soul, and I pray that God will bless him and grant him the best of everything. This is what I can say about the man. And so I will not sit down unconcerned when people go about, kind of joke with his girlfriend and make noise. This is a man who has heart for Ghana. It's unfortunate he died early, but this is a man who could have today.
All right.
Comparing him to Dr. Manu Koma, giving the chance. So thank you for the opportunity.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much. This is where we're going to end our submissions. I try to manage the time for everyone. I give everyone 10 minutes each. And so I appreciate that. Hopefully we'll be here again next weekend. And then may you all have a good weekend. Bye.